What if I told you that the key to having your healthiest year, your most impactful and rich year starts with embracing fear? That's what I was thinking to myself last night. I know it sounds a little counterintuitive. We're supposed to be fearless. But here's the truth. Fear isn't your enemy. It's your most powerful ally. Today, we're diving into a scene from The Dark Knight Rises that changed how I view fear forever. It's a punch to the gut. It's the moment that Bruce Wayne faces his greatest challenge, climbing out of the pit. He's broken physically, emotionally, and spiritually, and yet his transformation and rise out of that pit doesn't begin with his strength. It begins with fear. So let me ask you, what's your rope? What safety net are you clinging to that's holding you back from rising to your full potential? I'm Julian Hayes II, founder of Executive Health, where we help forward-thinking CEOs, executives, entrepreneurs optimize their health and performance with precision. So, Bruce Wayne is trapped in a pit. Bane breaks his back, literally. One of my favorite scenes as well. Bane calls this place that he takes Bruce to the worst hell on earth, not because it's brutal or dark, but because of the hope it offers. The pit has no locks, no guards, just a chasm that only one person has ever crossed. Every prisoner who's tried has failed, except for the child. Bruce believes that his physical strength is enough. So he trains, he climbs, and he fails both times. And so now at this point, he's despondent, he's at his will's end, hella frustrated. And the blind prisoner beside him over there reveals the truth to him. Fear is why you fail. And Bruce has been arrogant and ignorant and oblivious to this, to learn about this, to even consider this up until this point. But only at this point, with nothing to lose, he gives it consideration. And I just love this conversation. So the prisoner says, "You do not fear death. You think this makes you strong. It makes you weak." And Bruce says, "Why?" And the prisoner, "How can you move faster than possible, fight longer than possible, without the most powerful impulse of the spirit, the fear of death?" And then Bruce says, "I do fear death. I fear dying in here while my city burns and there's no one there to save it." The blind prisoner comes back and says, "Then make the climb." And Bruce says, "Well, how?" And the blind prisoner says, "As the child did, without the rope. Then fear will find you again." So the secret is not strength in this moment. The secret is fear. On his final attempt, Bruce removes the rope. He lets the fear fuel him, because without the rope, failure means death. The stakes aren't just higher, they're absolute. Every moment, every grip, every decision carries the weight of his city's fate. And this is where true transformation begins. This also reminds me of the book, The 33 Strategies of War by Robert Greene. I believe it's strategy number 4. And it's about putting yourself on death ground, where there is only one way out. You're backed in a corner, and there's only one way that you can get out. It's the whole adage of Cortez burning the boats as well. Now, in this scene, and in general, Batman's guided by his fears. He's not trapped by them. They shape his purpose. They fuel his mission. He's actually afraid of bats. But he transformed that fear into his symbol. He witnessed his parents' murder and fears another child experiencing that trauma. So he channels that fear into becoming a symbol of justice. Now, his fears don't weaken him. They actually ignite his power and give him more strength. But this is not just about Batman in this case. This is about us. In health, the rope might be those comfortable excuses with, "I'll start Monday," or "one cheat day won't hurt," or "it's just so the time is the issue." But real transformation happens when you fully commit, when returning to old habits isn't an option, when your health becomes non-negotiable. Through hell or high water, you're going to do it. That's when change becomes permanent. In business, the rope could be staying in your comfort zone, clutching to the familiar when it's holding you back. Maybe it's that innovative idea that you've been sitting on. It's been permeating, but you just haven't pulled the trigger yet. That bold strategy that you're afraid to implement. But here's the truth. The greatest opportunities, no matter the domain, it lies just beyond that safety net. When you remove the rope, that's when you fully commit to your vision. That's when breakthrough success happens. A lot of times, and I was guilty of this as well, you think you're committed, but you're 98% committed. But that 2% makes all the difference. It really makes all the difference between being committed and being committed. And in relationships, the rope could be this emotional armor. These are walls that we build to protect ourselves. Just like when Bruce needed to remove his safety line to make the climb, we need to let go of our defenses to experience a more genuine connection. Without the rope of emotional safety nets, we're forced to be more authentic, show our true selves, to be present, to be real. And one could say that's where actual true intimacy begins. So let's talk about fear. And I want you to imagine this. Maybe it's a little uncomfortable. And I was actually at a conference. I was speaking at a conference in November. And I did a similar thing that I'm about to explain here when I was talking to a guy after I got done with my panel. And so I want you to imagine that it's your daughter's wedding day and you're watching from the back of the church instead of walking her down the aisle. Not because you don't want to, but because years of neglecting your health have left you unable to stand beside her. Or worse, you're not there at all. So your family is having to move forward, celebrate this milestone without you because of years of ignoring various warning signs or postponing checkups. Now, I don't have children yet. I hope to be blessed with them soon. But this scenario necessarily isn't hypothetical for me. My father passed away early due to health issues, and that legacy still haunts me. There's certain moments that I see, even throughout the holidays, I see certain events that I just won't be able to experience like other people would. And so I think about these, and then I think about seeing my potential kids grow up, walking them down the aisle, holding my grandkids for the first time. That fear of missing out on those precious moments, it drives me to take action today. It drives my decision making a lot of times when I don't feel like doing something, not even in just health in general, but maybe the professional life. But this goes beyond health. Here's another scenario, and this is one I do as well. And picture yourself at 90 years old. You're surrounded by your family at a bustling dinner table, and your grandkids are playing nearby. Everyone looks up to you as the wise elder, the leader of the crew. But inside, you're carrying the weight of regret. Regret because you played it safe. Because you let the fear of failure keep you small when you could have been extraordinary. You didn't take the risk. You settled. You were hesitant. These types of fears, maybe for you as well, it scares me. It keeps me up at night. These are the types of fuel that can keep your fire burning. These are the types of fears that can remind you that fear isn't our enemy. It's actually our engine. And when we're controlled, or when we control this fear, it drives us forward. Only when we ignore it, that's when it destroys us from within. So fear isn't a weakness. It's actually this raw power, one of the most powerful ones that we as humans possess. And it's just waiting to be harnessed. So when you embrace it, this fear can transform us from a wall that blocks us into a force that propels us into greatness. So some action here. I want to ask you again, what's your rope? What safety net are you desperately clutching as we are into 2025 right now? What's actually holding you back? What rope needs to be let go? So take a moment right now, not later, not tomorrow. Identify one area where you need to let go of that rope. there's something that's coming up. There's something that's coming up. It always is. So with health, could it be that postponing that checkup you've been avoiding? Could it be finding accountability partner who won't let you quit? Transforming that empty corner into a nice home gym. Create a picture of what's at stake if you don't act right now. Why is this such a necessity that you do act? In business, maybe it's launching that bold initiative that you've been silently nurturing. Send the proposal that you've been second guessing. Your goals shouldn't shrink to match your fears. Your courage should rise to meet your ambitions. And so with relationships, maybe it's having that conversation that makes your heart race. Maybe it's to stop settling for comfortable distance when deep connection awaits. Choosing growth over comfort, authenticity over safety. Fear is our compass, and it could be a damn good one. Let that illuminate. Let it illuminate to show what truly matters. You can really feel this literally in your bones. You can sit with this. You can meditate on it. And if you're not feeling slightly uncomfortable, slightly nervous afterward, you haven't done deep enough yet. You haven't really got to that emotional trigger yet that each of us has, that it may be different. Just speaking these words right now, there's scenes coming up in my head right now, and I can start to feel some of that tension now rising. That's propelling me to go do stuff. That's propelling me to make certain decisions, certain moves. And this is how I know this matters. So this year, let go of the rope, embrace the fear, make the leap, and rise. So now I want to hear from you. What's the one rope that you're releasing in 2025? Share your commitment in the comments, and who knows, your courage just might inspire someone else to let go as well. See you next time. Stay awesome, be limitless, and as always, go be the CEO of your health and your life. Peace.